First, it was National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah, and now it's Congress veteran Partisan who strained his guns on the Army Chief General Bipin Rawat for warning people in Kashmir against interfering in army operations. Now, according to the NC as well as the Congress, this would only contribute to the deterioration in the situation rather than help improve it. But the comments have elicited an angry response from the centre. Here's a detailed report.
Jawans laying down their lives for the nation. The army chief's agony clear in his warning last week.
People who have picked up arms, and these are the local boys, if they want to continue with these acts of terrorism, displaying flags of ISIS and Pakistan, then we will treat them as anti-national elements.
But Netas won't stop playing politics even over the bodies of our brave hearts. National Conference Chief Farooq Abdullah has found support from former Union Minister P. Chidambaram.
गोली का जवाब गोली से नहीं हो सकता। ये बात करते हैं कि गोली का जवाब गोली से होगा, उससे और ये भड़केगा। और उम्मीद करनी चाहिए कि हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान बातचीत के मामले में आएंगे और बातचीत का एक नया रोल शुरू होगा। जो आजकल की हुकूमत है, उन्होंने जो वादा लोगों से किया था कि हम उन जमातों को जो फिरका परस्त जमात हैं उनके साथ नहीं माहिदा करेंगे। मुफ्ती साहब ने पहले ही माहिदा उनके साथ कर लिया, ये लोग बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे।
Chidambaram is under fire for accusing General Rawat of using thoughtlessness, intemperate words and warning that the centre's actions have lost Kashmir to India.
We will get that sinking feeling that Kashmir is nearly lost.
Every day our soldiers put their lives on the line in Kashmir, facing bullets from Pakistani terrorists and stones from misguided youth. Instead of hailing their sacrifice, is it fair to use words to demoralize them for petty political benefit? Whose side are politicians on? With Shujaul Haq in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
P. Chidambaram is former Home Minister, a man who understands Kashmir well, and he says there's a sinking feeling that Kashmir was nearly lost for India because the central government used brute force to quell dissent in 2016. He went on to say that 7 million people feel alienated. Government methods, the methods that government of India is using, is a terrible mistake. And General Bipin Rawat's words of caution, according to P. Chidambaram, was the last straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to the issue of alienating Kashmiris. Is he correct, or is this politics with national interest? I want to bring in Lieutenant General Shankar Prasad, former Director General of Infantry. He joins us on the broadcast. Sambit Patra of the BJP. But my first question is to Charan Singh Sapra, the spokesperson of the Congress party. Charan Singh Sapra, how is 2016 different from the stone pelting that happened in 2010 and the fact that 120 Kashmiris lost their lives to bring the situation back to normal when it was your government in power? Explain the difference. How is the situation so different now, sir? Or is this just politics being played with national interest?
See, first of all, I would like to condemn the stone pelting in Kashmir. I feel they should resist to do the same. On the other side, I would like to say that whatever Mr. Chidambaram referred, he referred to the deteriorating situation in Kashmir today. You know, in 2010, when there was a UPA government, when the similar situation was there, you just mentioned, UPA government had appointed an all-party meeting, an all-party committee had gone there, 39 MPs had gone there, an interlocutor under the leadership of Dilip Padgaonkar was appointed. They started a work, and not immediately, but after a span of 1 year, the situation slowly diminished and it became to normal. So Chidambaram meant to say
is there a cycle of violence that happens every couple of years? Sambit Patra, respond to this. The Congress says they've taken steps. The BJP government, when you're in power, all you're using is brute force and that is why Kashmiris are alienated.
And first and foremost, Mr. Chidambaram saying that he has a sinking feeling. Well, he will have a sinking feeling because the motherboard, that is Congress party, is sinking, so he'll have that kind of feeling. But just because he is having a sinking feeling, he has no right to play with the sentiments of crores of Indian and the sentiment of nationality. Over here, Mr. Chidambaram, as Mr. Farooq Abdullah, has played with the sentiments of nationality when he says that what the army chief, General Bipin Rawat, said was the last straw on the back of the camel to in fact almost disintegrate Kashmir from India. What kind of statement is this coming from a tall leader of Congress party and a leader who has been a former home minister and a former finance minister? Naturally, I mean, look, consistently Mr. Chidambaram has been making such kind of statement.
Okay.
There was a time Mr. Chidambaram was demanding only a few months ago that more autonomy should have been granted to Kashmir. There was a time when Mr. Chidambaram was in fact advocating to repeal ASPA. So naturally Mr. Chidambaram has been taking a stand that does not behove of a tall leader and that does not in fact augur well with the sentiments of the nation.
I want to bring in
absolutely not becoming.
Okay, let me bring in General Shankar Prasad. General, you've heard the BJP, you've heard the Congress, you've heard comments of P. Chidambaram, former Home Minister. Do you agree with his assessment that Kashmir is nearly lost? He has a sinking feeling that Kashmir is lost for India because of what he terms are brutal measures adopted by Government of India.
Well, how do you expect me to agree with any one of these two very famous gentlemen, a very well-known politicians with great responsibility on their shoulder? For them to make a statement like this is something that really beats every single citizen, not only an army general like me. Please understand that the situation which has been existing since the present government came, and I am no defender of BJP or Congress. Let me be very clear, I am not a political man, I have no affiliation with any political party, but since 2014, number of efforts made to resolve the situation in Kashmir with Pakistan has never been done in the past. Every single effort has been made. Leave that alone. The politicians, the two of them on your panel, can sort that political issue out. Let us understand, Gaurav, the amount of work the military is doing there. When the floods come, who goes there and risks their own life? When earthquake comes, who goes there and risks their own life? When the schools have to be constructed under Sadbhavna, who builds the schools?
I am talking specifically about Chidambaram's statement and its impact, not just in Kashmir, but as Venkaiah Naidu says, the impact on Pakistan.
How can anybody support it?
Respond to this, Mr. Sapra. You have a very well-respected general of the Indian Army. A very well-respected general of the Indian Army is saying Chidambaram appears to be speaking a language that will be music to Pakistan's ears.
He's talking about the failure of the state as well as the central government to control the stone pelters. There is no back channel dialogue. That's what he's trying to explain, that government is not initiating measures whereby they can control, they can have a dialogue with the separatists, or they
respond
can
to this, Mr. Sambit Patra.
Pelters. There's no initiative going on.
Respond to this, Mr. Patra.
Number one, when Mr. Chidambaram, Mr. Sapra is trying to buffer the statement of Mr. Chidambaram, but nonetheless you have read out the statement of Mr. Chidambaram in the beginning of the debate itself. So the viewers know as to what Mr. Chidambaram had said, and let me tell you, when Mr. Chidambaram says that he has a sinking feeling as if the Kashmir is disintegrated from India because of the brute force that the Indian forces are using in Kashmir, let me tell you, what does Mr. Chidambaram and Congress feel? That killing of Burhan Wani, encounter of Burhan Wani was brute force. A terrorist was neutralized. Should not a terrorist be neutralized in this state? And if there are sympathizers of terrorists, well, yes, the army chief rightly pointed out. We want, please, sir, I was not speaking when you were speaking. Let's not sound frustrated.
What are you talking?
Sir, can I please speak, sir? Can I please speak, sir? I was not. Please, let's not make a failure out of this debate. Let's be sensible. Let's not shout over each other. Gaurav, I call upon you to please restrain.
No, but Mr. Sapra, when you say that he was talking about the government and not the army, he is very specifically talking about the statement of the army chief, where he says it's the last straw that is alienating people. So he's not talking about the government. He's talking about General Bipin Rawat, the army chief. So is the former home minister of the country playing politics now with the army, Mr. Sapra?
He was not playing politics with the army. He meant to say that the army, which successfully conducted a surgical strike on POK, Why the Jammu and Kashmir police?
And
it is
you
not
are
the
saying
army
that-
who's in charge of the stone pelters. It is the Jammu and Kashmir police who has to control these stone pelters. That's different job. Army is not controlling the stone pelters. They have to tackle the terrorists. So why the Jammu and Kashmir police is failing in controlling these stone pelters?
He has not
why
said
the
that.
government
Has
is
he
not
said that, General?
initiating sufficient
General, has
dialogue
Chidambaram said
or
that?
back channel
Mr.
efforts?
Chidambaram and what
This is
Mr.
what
Army-
Mr. Chidambaram
what
is trying
the
to
Army
explain
chief
through
has
his
said. He doesn't
statement.
even know that.
Gaurav, let us stick to what you want to debate about. What did General Mr. Chidambaram say? That the last straw on the camel's back. Is that a very fine statement to make about an army chief? The army chief has only said that those who will prevent us from doing our job when we are doing a legitimate job of counter-terrorism, if someone is going to stop us, we'll have to take action because they would be as good or bad as terrorists.
Yes.
That's all what he has said. He has not said he's going to go around all over Kashmir killing people. He hasn't said that. But to say that the army chief's statement is the last straw on the camel's back, I think is something which I did not expect from Mr. Chidambaram. He's such a responsible politician, a home minister, a finance minister, in the earlier days even a minister of internal security. For him to say something like this for an army chief who is now trying to tell the people, look, send your children to schools, send your children to better occupations,
Yes.
instead of trying to bring them on street. You're only just fooling the children by giving them some amount of incentive of money and things like that.
And
Why can't
isn't-
the government, why can't the people of Kashmir, why can't all the politicians of India unite together,
Yes.
irrespective of political affiliations, to say, let us bring Kashmir onto the main line?
Explain
Instead
this,
of trying
Mr.
to say the
Sapra.
army chief is got the
Explain
last
this,
straw on the
Mr.
camel's back.
Sapra.
I think
Why
that is most
wouldn't?
unacceptable.
Yes, most unacceptable, says the next general. The BJP says this is virtually tantamount to anti-national statements that Mr. Chidambaram is playing right into Pakistan's hands, according to the BJP. Explain this, sir. Mr. Sapra.
No, not at all. See, BJP has the habit of, saying all these things and just putting an anti-national label or on any party which, speaks. They forget that they are ruling Jammu and Kashmir with PDP. This is the same PDP who had opposed the hanging of Afzal Guru. They are in alliance with the PDP over there. They have failed miserably in Jammu and Kashmir to control the situation. Both the state government and the central government have failed miserably. And now they want to just project a statement of Mr. Chidambaram. The essence of the statement can be taken either way. So you are probably taking the other way, and I am trying to explain the right essence of what Mr. Chidambaram meant. He meant that the failure of state as well as the central government.
Okay.
And that is what he has projected with that.
Okay,
Doesn't
Sambit
the military
Patra,
chief
Sambit
doesn't come under
Patra,
the
respond to
central
this.
government?
Respond
Can I
to
vote
this.
the
You're
army
playing
chief from there?
politics. He's only cautioning you that Kashmir is slipping from the government's hands because of the policies of the centre and the state government.
If they feel that there is something wrong in Kashmir and the Kashmir issue has not been managed properly as yet, then the most answers have to come from their way, because since independence, it was the Congress party and the National Conference together which has been managing the affairs of Kashmir. In centre also the Congress had been looking after the affairs, so naturally the answer should come from their way. Anyhow, coming to this issue, see, in fact, any view of yours would know as to what Mr. Chidambaram has said. When Mr. Chidambaram says that 7 million Kashmiris are alienated today because of the wrong policies and the wrong way of tackling of the situation there by the army, naturally he is pointing a fingers towards the army. My question to the Congress spokesperson was, do you think killing of Burhan Wani
No,
in
Mr.
an encounter
Sambit Patra,
was use of
Mr.
brute
Sambit
force?
Patra, are you
Was not
willing to
brute
say
force, it was
that
what
all
the
the
army should.
Kashmiris
Please,
are terrorists
Mr. Gaurav Sawant,
or
can
they
we
are
have
supporting the
some
terrorist activity?
sanity
Are
in
you
this
willing to
debate?
say
I was
that?
not speaking when he was speaking. What
Mr.
is this?
Sapra,
Why do they act
respond.
like this? Don't throw stones at me in this debate.
Mr.
Don't
Sapra,
throw stones
respond.
at me in this debate. Let me complete and then you can be a stone pelter. After completion, you can be a stone pelter. My question over here is to Mr. Sapra. Mr. Sapra, what did the army chief say? The army chief said that if you work as an overground terrorist sympathizer, then we will go helter-skelter for you. I am requesting the parents of everyone who is on the ground that please see to it that your child withdraws from this kind of act.
See, what I am trying to say, that controlling the stone pelters is a civilian issue which is done by the
Sir,
Jammu and
a
Kashmir
very
police.
specific question was
The
asked.
army
What
chief
was wrong with the
should
army
not
chief's
have indulged
statement?
in
That is completely indefensible statement of his, and we take a great exception to it. Now let me put it very clearly. We take a great exception to saying what the army chief said. You explained in this debate 15 times already what the army chief said and what it meant. If people don't understand and don't want to address that issue, well, that's their problem. The issue is, Gaurav, for 60, 70 years, we have not been able to find a good solution to Kashmir. Whether it is A party, B party or a C party. The issue is that political leaders of all hues and crowds, all political parties have not focused on the right issues.
Okay.
The children, trying to create employment, they're trying to imbibe the whole of Kashmiri people into Indian culture and vice versa.
Okay.
The Article 370, all what we keep fighting on little political issues, Armed Forces Special Power Act, and the army chief said this. These are all issues on which the Pakistani leaders like
issues are being created. Our issues are being created.
Why can't we address this problem as a nation? Why can't all political parties get together and address this problem?
Sambit Patra, P. Chidambaram says nobody takes Venkaiah Naidu seriously.
This is not a problem of one political party.
Absolutely, it's a national problem, but Sambit Patra responds. Chidambaram says nobody takes Venkaiah Naidu seriously.
Rather, nobody takes Mr. P. Chidambaram, the father, philosopher and friend of black money, as was rightly written in one of the famous articles, seriously. Everyone knows that he was a corrupt minister at his time.
I am sorry, he's not here to defend that.
Mr. Venkaiah Naidu is one of the top ministers. What General Shankar Prasad had rightly told, is that all political parties should come together in resolving the Kashmir issue.
Yes.
But here I beg to differ a bit. Why I differ in the sense that when we talk of employment, when we talk of development, when we talk of building schools, what the Kashmiri leaders, including Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Farooq Abdullah and the like, say is that this is not the issue of development. This is the issue of a political resolution. This is a political issue and should be resolved politically, to which we have replied, if you mean by political resolution that you want to go back to the 1953 status, then forget it. We will not go back to 1953 status.
Okay.
Kashmir is an integral part of India and no one should forget that. And second part is, why play music for Pakistan? Pakistan will take a to this. Tomorrow morning, this would be the headline of Pakistan newspaper.
Respond to this, Mr. Sapra. Why can't the Congress, the BJP, the PDP, the National Conference, the entire country be on one page when it comes to Kashmir?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. As far as Kashmir is concerned and Pakistan is concerned, Congress party is always there with the ruling party or the BJP.
General Shankar Prasad, last word to you. What is it that you expect from our politicians when our soldiers are losing their lives, keeping the integrity of Jammu and Kashmir intact? Go on, General.
Look, it is very sad that all leading political parties of this country do not understand what is national security. And the last straw in national security is not the camel's back, but it is the military. Please, for God's sake, support the military. Military is your military. It is the military of the nation. Please use it as a national asset, not an asset of one political party or another political party. The army chief is doing a difficult job. You're making it more difficult for him by all these debates that you have amongst the political parties. To cast aspersions on an army chief who's trying to his best under such difficult conditions. His men are dying every day. Can you imagine what he must be going through in the evening? Every evening he sleeps with so many people dead on his head.
Yes, absolutely.
Look at the problem the army is facing. Nobody
sane words from General Shankar Prasad, and on that note,
we will support the army.
Absolutely, absolutely. General Shankar Prasad, Mr. Sapra and Mr. Sambit Patra, for the moment, many thanks for joining me. The nation has to come together and fight Pakistan-sponsored terror and their proxies in Jammu and Kashmir, because this is a fight where India has to be kept first.